Yo guys, I'm back again with another video, and in this video I'm going to be saying the top 5 fighters I think should be in EA Sports UFC 4. Now this isn't top 5 fighters who need to be in there, so there might be some people like who you'll be expecting to be in this video who are not, so don't just spam the comments going, we missed this, but this is just the people I want who I think will be the most fun. So I'm going to start off with number 5, Hakeem Dawodu. Now Hakeem Dawodu is a fighter who was one of my favourite fighters, and I think is one of the biggest top prospects who's going to become a champion. He has some amazing anti-wrestling. He showed in this bout against Zabir Tuhugov, where some of the takedowns he was so close to being taken down, and he managed to stay on his feet. And I was watching it live. I was like, how did he not get taken down from that? So I think he's amazing in that aspect. Also, his striking is real good. He had one of the most beautiful knockouts. I think it was of 2019. Can't remember who it was again. I can't remember the guy's name, but it was just a nice head kick knockout off his lead leg, and it was just quite clean, innit? It looked really beautiful. So I think he would be an amazing addition to the game because he's got the look of a guy who can be a star. I think he can be a real star. He's got a story of a star, like growing up, being in juvenile detention. I think he's an up and coming guy, and I think he deserves to be in the game. And I think if he gets one more win, because I know he had to pull out of his most recent fight because he had an injury. But I think with one more win, he deserves to be in the game. I think he deserves to be in it now, considering some of the people they have in the game. So yeah, that was number 5. Hakeem Dawodu. Let's move on. Number 4, Kron Gracie. So I think Kron Gracie would be another amazing addition to the game. World class. That's foreshadowing the next person in the or future person in this list. He has incredible BJJ skills. We all know that he's a Gracie. No Gracie. Every Gracie comes out the womb a blue belt. So that would be incredible. His jiu-jitsu on the mat and his takedown against Alex Caceres when it was kind of weird off the cage. Like he wasn't pulling guard because it wasn't obviously in the guard position, but it was sort of weird. Like he'd sort of just dived off the. You guys know, if you guys know who Kron Gracie is, you know that fight. That was his first fight in the UFC, I think. Yeah, it was. He's 1-1 in the UFC. Lost to Cub Swanson well over a year ago now, so I'd like him to be more active. Maybe with a win, he can be in the game. But I think, considering some of the people who are in the game, I think a Gracie would be a lot of fun. Working on his jiu-jitsu, because jiu-jitsu is one of the best parts of this game. You can have some real fun in the grappling realm of EA Sports UFC 4, and his boxing is not the best, but again, it'll be fun. His fight against Cub Swanson was a stand-up fight, and he did lose. I can't remember. I think it was 30-27 or 29-28, but he lost obviously. But it wasn't like it was just him getting schooled by Cub Swanson. It was some parts competitive. I think there was a bit where Cub sort of started just taking over, but because I can't remember the fight fully off the top of my head, But yeah, I think watching his jiu-jitsu it would just be a lot of fun to play around with. Okay guys, so let's move on to number 3. Number 3, Diego Ferreira. Now I think Diego Ferreira definitely deserves to be in this game. He was undefeated from 2015 to 2021 of his recent loss to Beneil Dariush. That was about, for me, 3 days ago. And I think it's just like, considering some of the people who are in the game, he definitely deserves to. He's got such high level jiu-jitsu. The Dariush fight, he fought really weird. I don't know why he didn't. I think he should have been more aggressive with his jiu-jitsu, but that's gone now. But that's in the past. But his jiu-jitsu is great. His boxing is pretty good. He was on a 6-fight, 6-year win streak. It's like if a number 8 in the world at a point dropped down to number 10 because of the inactivity, and then probably going to drop down to maybe like 11 or 12. But it's like, I think he's dangerous for anyone in the division. Like what he did to Pettis, no one's done that to Pettis. He was subbed by Poirier, but that wasn't a submission. That was a he tapped because he broke his ribs. On his record, for some reason, it's to an arm triangle choke, but it's clear he was out of the arm triangle choke when he tapped. But yeah, so that was a weird one. But I think it's just like no one's dominated Pettis like that in the grappling realm. Like, I mean, to a submission. I know a few people have like controlled him, but no one's like done that to him like with that much ease. And Rostam Habilov's in the game, and it's like Diego Ferreira beat him a few years ago. It's like, what, you know what I mean? I don't even, if you told me if you asked me who else has Rustam Habibov even fought, I honestly couldn't tell you, and I'm a super fan of MMA. So it's like, I don't understand why he's in the game but Diego Ferreira's not. So yeah, that's my confusion over, but I find it just quite weird. Okay guys, so let's move on to number 2. Number 2, Ciryl Gane. Now Ciryl Gane is someone who I actually had to go back and check was not in the game, because I could not believe he's not in the game. He's number 7 in the world, undefeated, 7-0, just beat a former UFC champion in JDS by knockout. Well, not just beat, but about a month ago, something like that. And it's like, he's fighting Jairzinho Rozenstruik, and this fight, you could argue, could be a title eliminator. No, not a title eliminator. The winner gets a title eliminator. It's like, I'm pretty sure Ciryl Gane's all of his wins are by finish. It's like, they're trying to push him by giving him, you know, like quick fights, being in the UFC from quite a inexperience and fighting someone when he's 7-0, like Jairzinho Rozenstruik, who's a top contender. It's like, why not just put him in the game? It's like, he's incredibly good in most assets of the ground. He's good on the ground, good on the feet, very dangerous on the feet. Trains with Francis Ngannou, undefeated. It's like, what if, like, and he looks like someone who looks like your archetypical video game character, like for an adventure game or something. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, to me, it's like, where's the logic of not putting him in the game? He would be so much fun to play with. His power. I know this JDS whatever was controversial because it was the back of his head, but I thought that was JDS's fault for moving like that. But whatever. But I think he deserves to be in the game. Like that, you know what I mean? He's so good. Alright guys, let's move on to the person I want to be in the game the most. Okay, number 1, the fight I want the most in UFC for is Ryan Hall. Now Ryan Hall is a very like double-edged sword. I really want him in the game because he'd be so much fun with his jiu-jitsu, his spinning kicks. He'd be like a dream to play as. But he could also become a nightmare. I can see myself playing online ranked as like Max Holloway or something, and some player up against me just spams the Imanari roll to 50-50 and just ruins the whole match by just literally spamming it and spamming his wheel kicks and So I could see him becoming the most frustrating player to play against. Like, you know, some Max Holloway players are just the worst. The Nick Diaz on UFC 3, that was just mind-numbing. You know, so I think it's a very double-edged sword. He could be the best player to play as, but he could also become just all my days. Like, you know, when you're loading in and you see a player, I can't think of one off the top of my head. Well, yeah, Max Holloway or someone like that, and it's just like, for fuck's sake, not him again. You know what I mean? It's like, so I think, yeah, I want him in, but I don't. But I think I'd be willing to take the risk of him being awful and me just never playing in featherweight, or just, you know, I'd be willing to take that risk. But guys, thank you for watching this video. I've got another video coming out soon, which is going to be legends I want in the game. Again, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Bless.